Pleasure to see you all once again at the seafloor. This is yours truly, Parker D. Diver, and today's Sunken Treasure is a book I was not expecting to like, but thoroughly enjoyed. What I Carry by Jennifer Longo. Of course, there will be minor story spoilers, so if you wish to avoid those, I highly recommend you check out the book for yourselves. If you're still here, let's plunge right into things. Now, I've never been the type of person to enjoy romance books. I'm more of a One Piece guy, which honestly, it's so good you should read it. But we must be getting back on topic. What I Carry is a heartwarming story about a girl named Muriel, who is a very outdoorsy girl, and as she would think, begin quote, "The mountains are calling," end quote, page 96. She was born into foster care at a young age and has lived that way all her life, moving from home to home, never having a true one, but she prefers it that way. Her main goal being to escape from foster care when she reaches 18 and live for herself. But before we get too involved into the main thicken of this deep dive, I would like to thank Trivago for sponsoring this episode of Deep Dive. Have you ever wished to see the beauty of this world for yourself, but aren't as dedicated as Muriel? Then Trivago's the way to go. It'll search through thousands of different hotels and find the best and cheapest one for you, so you can see the world your own way. Hotel Trivago. Soon she gets put in her last home under the watchful and kind eye of an old woman named Francine, who is pretty based, I'm not gonna lie. As she continues to live there, she keeps noticing things finally going her way in life. She meets really good true friends, such as Elliot, a blossoming photographer who has a nice but naive heart, and Kira, who is the best character in this book, and I will fight you on that. She is an aspiring painter who deals with nicotine and tattoo problems. She also gets a near-perfect job at Salishwood, giving hikes to kids and even meeting a lover in Sean, a lean and kind man whose knowledge on John Muir causes Muriel to fall for him, some of those scenes being genuinely painful to read. Although she keeps reminding herself throughout the book to ignore it, to, begin quote, have friends but don't life or death depend on them. Go out but not date. Fostered, never adopted. End quote, page 91. Her stubbornness, I could definitely relate her stubbornness, albeit to a very different kind of book we covered not too long ago called The Interlopers by Saki, where these two men were so upset and stubborn at each other to not be friends, they even went as far as saying, begin quote, death and damnation to you, Ehrlich von Gradwitz, end quote, page 3. Of course, this is very drastic change, but it's very stubborn people on both sides. Of course, the end of both stories ended with the stubbornness fading, but, in What I Carry, it wasn't ended by ever being torn to bloody shreds by wolves, albeit that would have been an interesting ending. But Muriel ended up staying with their newfound life and friends, and it all ended happily ever after. Woo! Okay, real quick before we jump into my final conclusion and rating of this deep dive, I'd like to show you our last sponsor for today's episode, Honey! Muriel was always stingy with her money, and if you're the same way, then Honey is the thing for you. A majority of shopping is done online, and if you're feeling strapped for cash but really want that life-changing toast with jam, then Honey got you covered. It searches online for coupon codes to lessen the price of anything it can. The best part about it, it's free. So there is no reason to not go and try out Honey today. Support deep dives and save yourself some money. Overall, it was an unexpected but highly enjoyable experience that I honestly didn't expect to like, and it might be my first interjection to the romance side of reading. I doubt it, but maybe, I don't know. And I would definitely recommend checking it out if you're into that side of books. My overall rating is a solid 3.5 out of 5. I hope you enjoyed this deep dive, but I think it's about time that you resurfaced, and I'll see you all next week. Parker D. Diver, out. Woo!